Lisa Briggs from the Briggs Company.
Sorry.
Trying to do some research quickly.
Sorry.
Welcome to you.
Welcome back.
What have you? Thank you. What have you brought with us today?
Not a grandma plant. It's a cyclamen. I love cyclamen.
I do too.
They're a much more forgiving holiday plant than, say, poinsettias or Christmas cactus because they can take less light. They don't mind temperature swings. The only thing you don't want them to sit in water because the crown will rot. But other than that, they're pretty forgiving.
So if they come in the foil, wrapped up?
Yeah, yes, if they come in foil, if anything that you're getting as a holiday plant comes in the foil or a basket or something, you want to take it out to water it.
Okay.
And not leave it in there.
All right, let's get to your questions. Katie from Madison asks, we received some Paley mums as a gift about a month ago, and despite our best efforts to care for them, they are dying. The soil seems to be retaining a lot of moisture, but the flowers and the leaves surrounding the flowers are drooping, brown, and crispy. This seems to mostly be affecting the tops of the stems. Part 2 coming up our next broadcast. The lower ones are okay.
Okay, so I am not familiar with Paley mums, and I did look up really quick, but then you guys caught me, so I didn't get to really read anything. So it looks like they're a special kind of mum, maybe not necessarily a chrysanthemum. My first go-to on houseplants is we were talking about flowering plants. You often get them with some kind of treatment on the pot, like foil or a basket or something, and those things retain moisture. So my first go-to thing would say, are you taking it out of that wrap to water it? Because you'll want to do that, let it drain completely before you put it back in there. So that is my first thought.
It sounds like it's drowning.
It does sound like it's wet, because a lot of times too wet looks a lot like too dry. Send some photos to plantdesk@brewscompany.com, and we'll take a look and see if we can find out anything else.
Okay, let's go to Donna. She wants to know, just wondering if you can use regular garden seeds, tomatoes, lettuce, peppers, etc., in a hydroponic garden.
So hydroponics use regular seeds, but you're going to want to, especially if you're new to it, you're going to want to start with things that germinate quickly. So lettuces, basil, that kind of thing, just because the hydroponic system sometimes is a little tricky for seeds that take a long time to germinate. So maybe pepper seeds wouldn't be a good choice for a first timer, but sprouts and all that kind of stuff would be super choices to start out. Radishes, things that germinate quickly.
And this is growing in water.
Basically, it's a water solution. You can always check on the seed packet, and you'll see there'll be a days to germination. So maybe pick something that's a little bit shorter rather than something that's long.
All right, Bob wants to know how to store amaryllis buds long term. It's going to be gone for several months and don't want him to start them now.
Okay, so amaryllis are pretty stable. You're going to want to put them in a cool, dry, dark place. So the light will start to stimulate them from popping up, because when they come into the garden center, they're ready to go. So I would put them in a place to keep them as dormant as possible until you get back, and then you can start them up again.
So these are ones that probably he had.
Either he had them or somebody gave them to him. It's hard to know.
If you get one now and start it, would there be flowers for, what, 2 months?
It probably takes about 2 or 3 weeks for it to pop, depending on how chilly your house is. Like in my house, it takes a really long time to stuff them in the utility room. But then once they get going, once you start to see that flower bud poke up from that bulb, they go really fast. Like almost you could watch them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you could almost watch them.
All right, we are out of time. Thank you all for writing in. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there from the Brewis Company. We really appreciate it.